My. Check this chick play these drums right here, boy. Look at here. Lord, I believe she could, man, she beating the crap out of them things, man. You can tell she spent a lot of time, a lot of her efforts and whatnot, learning how to play those drums like that. Look at her pounding on that bass. Got 2 bass drums. Man, look at that. She playing the heck out of them things, ain't she? Yeah. Anyway, here's what I think of when I see it. You know, maybe I'm just a weird guy. Maybe it's because I'm an old guy. Maybe it's just because I complain, judge everything. But here's what I see. Women spend a lot of time, if they're not in the home doing home housework stuff, you know, taking care of the home front, keeping the home fires burning. Then they spend a lot of time in different hobbies and ventures and job occupations and such, much like this young lady here. She'll be referred to in the music world as a chick drummer or a drummer chick, because drummers are unusual in bands like that, primarily because drummers pretty much keep the timing and the beat of the whole band. So, they're kind of in control of that sort of thing. It's interesting when it comes to stuff like musicians, how if you know someone's personality, and sometimes even their physical appearance, you can rather reasonably guess what instrument they play or whether they're a singer or whatever, At any rate, drummers are well known for being usually shorter guys and sort of a little bit of the control freak, little man, Napoleonic syndrome, So it's a little guy back in the back, not out front like the vocalist or some of the guitarists, but he's pulling the strings and that sort of stuff. So that's typically a male role. Men are typically drawn to that. It's unusual to see women who are drawn to that. So she's going to stand out a lot as a chick drummer. And she looks like she's put in her time to practice. But here's what I see happen so much in life, is that regardless of how much skill and ability that woman has developed, when it comes down to promoting herself, whether it's sitting there on the drummer's throne or whether it's in the corporate room or, the trades person out at work, is they're going to react and resort to using their sexuality to promote themselves and to get attention, and not rely simply on their ability and skills. Not all, in the words of that great American, Jesse Lee Peterson, but most. Not all, but most are going to rely on being a girl and using that value that they were born with. She did not develop those thighs that she has hanging out from underneath that skimpy little black dress. I mean, she may have developed them and going to the gym and watching her diet and that sort of stuff, but it's not like she had to, learn how to grow thighs. She didn't. That little nose, that little well-proportioned face, those full lips. If she worked on those full lips, it's because she went to the store somewhere, to the clinic, and got some lip filler shot in it. That's about as hard as she had to work. So, and look at those heels down there. Now, let me tell you, it's a great philosophical question amongst sociologists and such. How do you tell the difference between adult material and what is considered a nude art that will be in museums and such all over the West? Things like the statue David, which was a nude man. Paintings of the Madonna and Child, Mary and Jesus, where the Madonna will be nude and stuff. And primarily, this is just a rule of thumb in the art world, primarily nude art will feature completely nude people, because the presence of some clothing is designed to invoke a certain sense of mystery and attraction and thereby sexuality, and invoke that sexuality in the mind, which becomes adult, more like adult material. That's sort of arguable. It depends on what perspective of the person you're talking to. However, you see these heels right here? Let me see if I can get my left finger over there. You see these heels? That is a clear indication that woman is reaching towards the more adult material in her dressing and her clothing. Who would wear those big old heels with that little skimpy skirt just out of the blue, just normally? You see. Now, when I see this, I think of someone like Janis Joplin, the legend rock and roller / blues singer Janis Joplin, me and Bobby McGee, and so on and so forth. You know, she couldn't access this sort of an outfit and this sort of a marketing and everything because she was a legendary part of her persona was that she was considered very unattractive. Even in her hometown in Texas, right on through her whole life, that sort of rejection, sort of thing that people today would even call bullying, is known to be one of the things that pushed her to seek solace and comfort in her drug usage, which ultimately and untimely claimed her life. So all Janis had to rely on was her entertainment value and her ability to sing and create that flower child hippie chick persona, because she couldn't resort to her shapeliness and her makeup and her physical attributes. But what's wrong with that, Dane? I mean, if she's attractive, what in the world's wrong with her using that to leverage to get attention? Well, there's nothing wrong with it. I don't care one way or another. This gal can sit up here with her thighs and darn near her butt cheek hanging out and play the heck out of them drums all she wants. I don't care one way or another about that. What I do care about is the common feminist mantra in the world is that women work as hard as men to learn their craft. They put in the same amount of work to develop their skills and hone their skills and those sorts of things, whether it be beating on drums, whether it be going into business, whether it be learning some sort of a trade like welding, pipe fitting, being an electrician, commercial truck driver, whatever the case may be. The feminists say, well, women put in the same amount of work and skill and all that sort of stuff, which in some cases is true. I will grant that without argument. However, if they decide to market themselves like this, they can't show up on the job and say they expect to be honored and respected and treated with dignity, just like the men on the job do. Why? For one thing, we're talking about equality, equal rights, correct? The man can't show up. The man has zero to do that is equal to this to promote himself. Can't do it. All he has to do is show up and produce and exhibit a work ethic, have good character on the job, show teamwork, focus, leadership skills, those sorts of things, all of which he's had to develop over the years, and those are the only things that he has to depend on. If those don't advance him in the workplace and in the world and in the community, he does not have those thighs right there and those high heels and those full lips and them highlights right there and all of that cutesy cuteness to resort to make up for. So I don't have a problem with women dressing however they want to dress. That's their business. But if they dress like that, when they show up, they're going to be respected like a set of legs. That's what they're going to be respected for, and then their skills and abilities and the trade and the craft that they've developed will take a backseat. She'll never be a drummer, respected by and large in the culture as a fantastic drummer. She's always going to be a chick drummer. Why is that? Because that's what she's got out front. If she's a chick, she's using her chickness to promote herself, so she's always going to be a chick drummer. She's always going to be treated like that. If she wants to be treated like just a drummer, she needs to put some draws on. She needs to take them heels off. Who the heck playing drums like that in a set of high heels? It's kind of like riding a bicycle in a set of high heels. Why would you do it? Unless you wanted people to have certain thoughts and ideas about you that will make you fun to be around and think of. And this dynamic applies to the workplace as well. Also, ladies, before you come at me telling me that she can dress how she wants and I'm just a pervert and all that kind of stuff. Think about the fact that this young lady using her sexuality to promote herself like this affects you in your life as well. If you happen to be one of the ladies who actually develops her skill and becomes very accomplished in her field and shows up dressed like a normal human being and not a hooker, the men around you are still going to hold you responsible, albeit subconsciously, possibly, they're going to hold you responsible for this young lady right here. And women like her who leverage their sexuality to get attention and get ahead in the world and not just their abilities. So when you don't come out against these gals, these hoochie mamas doing this kind of stuff, when you make excuses for them, when you attack the men and the few women who speak out against them, you're hurting yourself, because those men in your workplace are going to class you right along with this chick. That's just the way it is, and I'm dang.